Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Geek Garage podcast. I am David Dassall, your host. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Geek Garage Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Geek Garage Pod. You can check us out on Instagram. And also you can rewatch our live stream at youtube.com/2playermedia. Thank you for listening. Damn it, who put the question mark at the end of the teleprompter?
They need to bring back the motherfucking Brady Bunch, okay? And I don't give a shit if the mom and dad are both dead at this point. All right, I want to know.
She was like older than them.
I want to know what the ending of the story about a man named Brady is.
My name is Babadook Canterbury. Please cast me in human movies.
Well, no one's gonna watch Jumanji more
Exactly.
than once.
So take these charges off of my bill,
Yeah.
and also all of that pornography.
Dave, hit us off, bro.
All right, well,
Like officially.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Geek Garage Podcast, episode 4. I am very excited to talk about today's topic. I don't know about you, gents. I'm pretty sure y'all are excited too. Who the fuck wouldn't be excited to be here? I don't know. But we are talking about Netflix original series. And we will get to that here in just a moment. But first, how the hell have you guys been?
You know, I've spent most of my day. I'll give you the quick rundown.
Good.
Started off with a healthy breakfast of sour cream
Yes.
right out of the container.
Excellent.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Drinking sour cream.
Drinking it all day. Yep.
Was it through a crazy straw?
Just spooning it in there.
Excellent.
Just right into my mouth. And then right before this podcast, I combined a Yeti cup. You know those cups that just keep everything nice and cold and
The ones
fresh
are
all
like
day?
$5,000.
Right. Yeah, those. It's either like buy a car or make sure your beverages are fresh.
Sure.
Yeah. So what I did
Walmart
is
sells one called Ozark for like $18.
it's the same goddamn thing, too. Anyway, I combined a Yeti cup with 2 bottles of Robitussin and a 5-hour energy. So one of 2 realities are going to happen here. Number 1, hey, maybe we just have a great podcast. Or number 2, I have a psychosomatic episode that puts one of you and me in the hospital. But either way, let's just try it.
You know what we
let's
used to
just
call those? We'd put a shot of vodka in there too, and we called those hyperdrives back in college.
Really? That's a...
I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
I'm laugh crying.
Oh God, kids,
Connor,
for
how
your
are
own, I'm fine, David. But for their safety at home, don't do what Andrew just said, please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
No,
That spells out bad news for everyone.
yeah,
I'm not okay.
no, we don't endorse drinking Robitussin for recreational drug
That
use.
is called robo-tripping, and it makes you dumb.
So does everything else that you do.
It's called robo-tripping, and it makes you
Huh?
dumb.
No. I mean, drug-wise, like every drug makes you dumb, unless it's like that drug from the movie with fucking
Limitless,
yeah, that guy, fucking Bradley Cooper.
also the TV show, which I have not seen.
I haven't seen it either. Anyway,
I bet it's just terrible.
it's probably mediocre.
Yeah. Sounds
No, I'm doing good, David. I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 7.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was playing it earlier today.
Are you just
Is
like
it
stressed
real,
out?
It's real scary.
It's real fucking spooky.
Excellent.
It's real spooky. It's been a long time since I've played a game where I jumped like more than once.
Yeah.
And God, there's just moments in there that like really fuck with you. Like dude chopped off my leg with a shovel and then like dangled in front of my face. He's like, "Come on. I know you can get your leg. Come on. Come here." And I'm like crawling over to get my leg. And he's like, "You can do it. Just come get your leg." And he drops the leg and I grab it and I'm like holding it. And I'm like, "Ah!" with my stump. And he's like on the other side of the room with a healing potion. And he's like, "Come on. I know you can get this too. Come on. This will fix your leg right up."
This is really fucked
And
up.
I crawl over with my fucking leg in hand and fucking get the potion and shove my leg back on and pour it over it, and automatically my leg somehow fucking healed. And he's like, "You did it. I believed in you."
Things
and then
really-
you stand up and he hits you in the fucking head with a shovel.
Things have really changed since shit.
RE4.
RE4?
Yeah.
I can abbreviate real well.
Yeah, it's gone from the pleasant, what are you buying, and the slow-moving zombos to, oh my god, I have to put my leg back on my body.
Yeah, it's real graphic, real intense.
Watching him play it was just being in a constant state of stress and dread.
That's it. That's the game is just stressful because around every turn something's popping out ready to just fuck you up.
Yeah.
Sounds like anal sex.
Or surprise anal sex, which it's not a surprise if you asked for it. I don't know what that means. Right. Moving on. David, how the fuck are you doing?
I'm great. I filmed this interesting video for two gentlemen the other day.
Oh, shit.
That was my idea. I'm so sorry.
No.
Whoops.
It was something else. If you're into duckmen or people dressed as... I'm sorry, none of this is going to make sense until the actual video comes out.
What are you
But
talking about?
we are doing more stuff for two-player media again.
Yeah.
Which is exciting for all of us and for our two-player media fans. So that's awesome.
All 18 of you.
Yes. Thank you for being so loyal, sticking through.
Sorry.
No, I know there's like hundreds.
He just said all 18 of them.
Yeah. No, thank you for giving two-player media a chance, and thank you for giving Geek Garage a chance.
Copyright strike on you.
10 seconds.
Anyway,
we're good.
Yeah. Well, guys, I talked to you a little bit about this beforehand, and we really didn't go into detail, but we are going to start a very new segment called... actually, we don't have a name for it, but it's basically we're going to take roughly 10 minutes or so at the beginning of each episode, and we're going to talk about stuff in the news as far as geek media related stuff goes, whether it's new movie trailers that just came out, new video games, anything geek media related that we might have seen, anything that could come across like IGN's website headlines or whatever. And like I said, name is pending. If you have a cool name that you might want to suggest, I would definitely be open to suggestions. I'm not just talking about you two. I'm talking about
nerdy news.
Stuff that's happening.
I kind of like that.
Stuff that's happening.
Stuff that's happening.
Sounds like my last sexual encounter.
Stuff that's happening.
Yeah. That wasn't very funny. Anyways, would either of you two care to start us off?
I will.
Do it, Andrew.
Yeah,
please.
So
be sweet and
something particularly special to me and exciting, but it's exciting for everybody. The Walt Disney Company announced that their project coined Star Wars Land will be opening in 2019, and if you're unfamiliar with what this is, they are building two very large additions to their Orlando theme park as well as the one in California. So Walt Disney World and Disneyland will be receiving Star Wars Land, which is a experience very similar as far as the level of immersion to what Universal Studios has done with Harry Potter. So they are...
And we all know that turned out just horrible.
Oh, it's
right?
fantastic. I mean, I think really the reason why we have Star Wars Land is partially due to the Harry Potter land existing. Disney saw this amazing thing come up that's not theirs, and they went, oh, fuck. And so they had to one-up or bring something equally as cool. So what you're going to get out of this is you're going to be able to board and pilot the Millennium Falcon in a ride using some sort of virtual reality thing. They haven't given the full details. There'll be dining experiences that are immersive into some sort of Star Wars environment. There'll be several things there completely based in the lore of the new Star Wars trilogy that's happening, right now, obviously. And it's just awesome, man.
I'm excited for the whole 3.6 acres that they said they dedicated to Jar Jar Binks.
You son of a bitch.
There's gonna be the it's a lot like a lot of the rides they already have, except they're Jar Jar Binks themed. Like Dumbo the Elephant, that ride. It's just you get to ride on
the back of Jar Jar Binks.
Well, you bareback ride Jar Jar Binks.
You ride on his face.
Yeah, you fuck Jar Jar Binks. That's the whole the whole premise of the ride. You just fuck Jar Jar Binks.
So you can only ride if you're a man?
No. See, they've got some with dicks and vaginas, David.
Jesus Christ, dude, are you okay?
And there's a big Ferris wheel, and each cart is just Jar Jar Binks, and then you fuck him because you gotta fuck him back after he's fucked you.
God.
And everything you love.
Connor, give us some fucking news, man.
Connor,
Anyway.
what's your news story, please?
It's
and thank
not
you.
Jar Jar Binks, that's for sure.
Thank God,
Andrew.
Jesus.
My news story?
Please.
My news story is fucking Neo.
Oh.
And how cool that fucking game looks. And how it's basically Dark Souls with samurai.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've just watched Andrew play it. I've watched some Let's Plays of it. And it just looks like the coolest, hottest new fucking game out there. And everybody should go and buy it and play it. Because fuck you if you can't play it. You suck. Get better at video games.
Yeah,
So.
that's basically what it is. So, David, what you got?
So mine, I know that music is kind of debatably can be either considered geek media related or not geek media related. I consider it geek media related because you can personally geek out over music. I mean, you know, you guys.
It's media. It's media.
Yeah,
Anything media you can be a fucking nerd about.
So,
The fuck was that?
That's the devil.
Did y'all just hold on? I just want to interrupt the podcast for 1 second. It sounds like somebody just dropped a washing machine from the floor above us, but we're on the 3rd floor.
that's kinda
So
what it sounded
That's the
like.
devil.
all right. Anyway,
So, no, one of my favorite artists of all time, Andrew McMahon, just put out a new album. It's his second LP as Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. For those of you who do not know him by name, he was the frontman / vocalist / pianist of Something Corporate way back in the day, like circa 2002, 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. I was obsessed with him back in high school, not like in a sexual way. But
thank you for clarifying.
yes, but he of course he started Something Corporate, and then his first side project was Jack's Mannequin, and now he is doing his, I guess, more solo stuff. But his new album just came out on Friday, and it's fantastic. I've listened to it approximately 67 and a half times, and I gotta say it's just terrible. Obviously.
Man, that sucks that you like bad music, David.
I know. I gotta punish myself.
I
Yeah.
completely had to zone out there for a minute while you were
That's
talking.
fine. Andrew doesn't actually listen to real music. Can we talk about that for about 3 seconds?
No.
Andrew doesn't listen to real music. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's-
let's continue on
that's
with
pretty
podcast.
much it.
Anyway, get us on track, Dave.
So, we today are going to talk about Netflix original series.
Woo!
Yay.
Seems like we all
You were
timed
late.
That.
We were in sync and tandem, and you were late. I just want to let you know.
Nope.
No,
Okay, fair enough.
nobody was on that one, Dave.
So this episode, I kind of sent this out via Facebook on our page a couple weeks ago, looking for things that people might be interested in us discussing. And one of our good friends, Brooke, she suggested that we do an episode on, she really suggested we do an episode on original programming for Netflix, Hulu,
That's a lot. That's a lot of things.
Amazon Prime. And I was like, that's an excellent idea, but we'd have to do like 3 or 4 different parts because there's a lot of original programming across like all the streaming services now. So we decided to maybe touch on those on a later date, and today we're going to stick to strictly Netflix.
Cool. Are we going to chill?
There will be
We're not
no
watching
chilling.
Netflix.
Are we going to chill?
We're not
There,
Netflix.
there's no chill.
Look, I'll be honest, guys. When you said we were going to talk about Netflix, I thought it was kind of in the same vein of what Netflix and chill is. I was just like prepared for like a real, sensual evening with the two of you.
You
So,
know, 10 minutes into Netflix and chill, and he's talking
like,
about
I was thinking like 10 minutes into this podcast, like, like chest hair would be showing, and we would
got
just
that
be,
chest bush.
we would just be like, getting real intimate.
Oh, God.
No,
All
no,
right.
that wasn't. Damn, I'm completely unprepared. Then I got nothing to talk about.
Ooh, Connor's lifting up that shirt.
I'm just kidding. I did some research.
Oh, well, that's awful nice of you to do
Minimal
research
amount.
for
For the podcast that we've been
Yes.
talking about doing for
Right,
2 weeks.
the, cool. All right. Well, first thing that we're going to talk about is super fucking boring. I'm just kidding. We're going to discuss kind of how Netflix has basically broken the mold of becoming a streaming service. Because they started out as, for those of you that are too young to remember and are listening to this, they started out as a DVD mail order service company where you get online and you type in a movie that you want to see, and then a few days later, via snail mail, you get a disc, a DVD in the mail.
I still remember getting excited when those things showed up.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And that service is still available. Did you guys know that?
No.
Yeah, like
really?
if you go to Netflix, and just type
There's
in the
stuff
movie.
that's only available on DVD.
Yeah, it'll say like, of course, it'll say like titles related to blah 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 because that movie won't be on there. But if you look, like, I can't remember, it might be like fine.
Do you
white
have to pay
print.
more money to do the DVD thing?
No,
aside from streaming?
it's like the same price. Like, and they of course they have like the one disc thing where you can get like just one disc. You
One,
can do,
two,
like, two or
three,
three,
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Same thing they've
I
always
think like
done.
the 3 disc is maybe like $14 or $15 a month, which is still. I mean,
And you also get streaming?
I think there is a package where you get the discs and streaming. I'm not sure how much.
Because here's the thing: you get those discs, you just rip them, guys. It's just yours forever.
I don't have that ability because
What are you talking about, Connor?
Nothing.
Not
No one's ever pirated
not a
anything.
thing.
never ever.
Anyway,
So
I got a funny story about that actually.
Yeah.
There was a time where I was renting like really off color like international horror movies for a while, and there was this Tokyo zombie something or another thing that I ordered that I waited forever to fucking watch, and it had just been on my wish list of what to watch for forever, and it finally came up in my queue of what they were sending me, and I was so excited to get it, and it finally came in the mail. And it was a half a DVD.
You got
Just not broken in the case.
it was
Just
literally
a half of a DVD. And I remember calling Netflix back when you could like fucking
You
call
had to
them.
call people.
Yeah. And being like, guys, you sent me half a DVD. And they're like, that's the only copy of this movie we have like in your region. And I'm like, man, that sucks that you got to get me the movie I want somehow. And they finally did. It took like 3 weeks, but they sent me, an additional disc onto what my queue was. And I finally got to watch it. And the movie was just awful. Totally unwatchable.
After all that,
Like it wasn't even funny bad. It was just unwatchable.
it wasn't unwatchable because you literally the first time around couldn't watch it.
Right.
But once you got around to watching it, it was unwatchable.
It was.
That's too bad. I kind of want to cry
Yeah,
now.
my half a DVD of something that I probably should have never wanted to see in the first place.
Yeah, well.
So,
You know how things go.
anyway,
So, anyways, now here's Netflix. A year. I don't even know how long Netflix has been around.
it's been a minute.
long enough.
Yeah. And so now they've kind of course, they're kind of doing their own thing, putting out original content, and it's interesting to think about how far they've come from just the DVD delivery service via snail mail to their bread and butter almost is their original programming.
Oh,
Yeah.
they've completely taken over that. They are right now to
I
me.
made a deal with Disney. Come on, guys.
They are to me right now when they decided to start the streaming services and then break into original programming. It's almost like when HBO and Showtime were first getting into the TV world
Yeah.
and busting out content and original programming that had no limits or and very minimal censorship to what they could do.
Right.
And so now, especially in the format that Netflix releases stuff, as far as whole seasons available right there. I mean, as well as I do. Like when Netflix was first a thing, like I was still watching. I think Dexter, when Dexter was still like actively being made and stuff like that. The way that I watched a lot of it was streaming it and just plowing through a season. My first exposure to Dexter, which was a Showtime original show for those that don't know what Dexter is. I hope you do.
Yes.
About the best serial killer of all time. But anyway, so I remember plowing through.
Incorrect. He's not the best
season-
serial killer of all time. But thank you anyway. Continue.
What? Anyway,
You want to talk about
no
serial
fun
killers?
knows. Seasons 1 through 3, I got to just watch, and then but season 4 was still episodically being released on a normal TV schedule on Showtime, and I was like, wait, I just want to
Fucking cocktease.
fucking know what happens, like, and go through the whole season. So I think they realized that demand and started busting out these shows, and it's like, what do you mean I can watch the whole season right now? Oh my god, that's amazing. And that right there that created such a demand for that type of consumption,
Right.
and it
Binge watching.
changed TV as we know it. I mean, that's where we're sitting right now. Netflix is about to they're climbing that chain of like, fuck you, cable. We're good over here.
Right.
we got rid of cable in my household, and that's all we do is streaming services.
The only reason why I even have cable is to watch sports and shit right now. Like, that's why I have it.
It's been almost two maybe 3 years since we've had a cable subscription.
We just got a great comment. Sorry. Some say your soulmate is out there with the other half of that DVD. That's fantastic.
But Andrew, some of the things that you were kind of touching on, it was actually the second point that I was going to bring up, is how Netflix has changed the way we consume entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Like movies, TV shows, comedy specials. It's, their MO, I guess, is to release 10 episodes to 13 episodes is kind of like their the traditional span of their seasons for all their shows, and they release them all at once. So it's just
Here you go. Watch it.
We made this awesome thing in here. You don't have to wait for shit.
And it kind of part of it kind of makes me concerned about how long we actually do spend watching something now, because an episode is like 22 minutes on average, right? Of anything. And then you really think about like, how long is a movie? Well, usually around 90 minutes to 2 hours to 120 minutes, and then you sit there and you're like, I just watched 13 episodes of something without doing anything else. You're like, wait, what time is it? Oh fuck, I have a job. Like,
I love it.
yeah. There's actually I really haven't read any of these articles, but apparently they're out there. Articles written about this kind of phenomena that you were just talking about, how people aren't really, people are still going to the movies, obviously, because movies are still making money, but they're not going to the movies like people used to. With things hitting streaming services so quickly. Like a couple weeks ago, the Civil War was on there.
Yeah.
And it was just in theaters this summer. And that's, to me, that seems like record-breaking release. So
you will see, and I think what you're hitting there, you'll definitely see a eventual move, I think, from even the film industry. And it depends on what because movie theaters obviously are making all their money based on everyone being drawn in so they can sell them concessions and stuff like that. So Netflix and things similar to Netflix, but Netflix being the king right now, Netflix might be able to injure the movie theater industry in the same way that they murdered home rentals from Blockbuster and things like that. I mean, oh my God. So could you imagine, for instance, like think about and the home watching experience of a sporting event. Going to a football game live is really fun and everything, but when you go, every beer you get is $9. A hot dog is ridiculous. That kind of shit. And then depending on where your seats are, number one, your tickets are expensive. Unless you're here in Nashville and going to a Titans game, then you can just, it's like, they ain't shit, so you can just go. I'm just kidding. Titans tickets are cheap right now because they suck. But anyway, so.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've been to a couple games.
I'm just teasing. So anyway, the home watching experience of a pro sports event is almost superior because get a nice HD TV, nice couch, go get some chicken wings and buy a shitload of beer and get some friends over, and you get to listen to good commentary and get a good view of the game.
Guys, let's stop the podcast. I want chicken wings and beer.
and be comfortable in your own home. So now you're talking about the movie watching experience. Nice TV, turn all your lights off, and make your own fucking popcorn that was cheaper than what you bought at the movie theater, and get your own sody pops and such.
There's something to be said, though, for the experience of seeing something on a big screen.
I agree with that, but what I'm getting at is
$11 plus everything else.
I will admit, like, as much as I love Star Wars, and you guys know this, if someone told me, like, hey, Episode 8 is available, like, right fucking now, I'd be like, let's watch the shit out of that. You know, because I wouldn't wait. Are you kidding me? You know, I just want to see the thing that I like, that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And so you talk about, I mean, think about home theater setups right now. A lot of people have sound bars and surround sound things, and that's a thing that a lot of folks have more than they used to, and especially the availability of nice televisions. Are we going to get to the point where Netflix can start producing some movies? And I mean, they already are, but I'm just saying, like, at a higher rate, and kind of start taking a chunk out of movie theaters and stuff like that. I mean, it's something to think about. I could definitely see that becoming a viable thing.
I absolutely, see where you're going with that. I feel like that's something to be concerned about. I also feel like Hollywood might be shitting in their pants because of the direction that we're headed as far as, current streaming.
I just pissed off all the Titans fans.
Is that what it looks like?
Yep.
Cool. Connor, do you have anything to add to that? Cool. All right. So, so now we're going to talk about some series, some Netflix original series that they were dumped by their original
Distributor.
Thank you. Original distributor, channel, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and they were picked up. And we are including shows that were canceled, as well as shows that kind of ran their course and just decided to end, or they wrapped up nicely. And there's actually not a whole lot of these, and of course, they were swept up by Netflix. First one I got is Longmire. Have you guys ever watched Longmire?
Nope.
It was just hold my shit up right here so I can actually fucking see it. So it was when it was on A&E, it was the most watched original drama. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know the main character's name. I know Katie Sackhoff is in it from Battlestar Galactica, I think. Anyways,
That's an actor.
yeah, and she does.
You mean the show that's not Star Trek?
Yeah.
You mean Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, that was yeah. I haven't watched it.
Oh,
I'm unfamiliar. I know what it is.
I just don't care.
I just don't give a shit.
I know what you want.
I don't know what you are. Continue.
So another show is
Whoa.
another show is The Killing. It was originally an AMC series. I don't know anything about this show. Honestly, it was other than it was on AMC. When I Googled like a list of shows that were canceled and then picked up by Netflix, this was on a couple of different people's lists. And apparently it didn't do so hot on AMC, and for some reason or another, Netflix decided to pick it up, and apparently it still didn't do so hot.
Yeah, considering none of us know what the fuck it is.
Right, so that kind of, I mean...
You know how many hours I've sat in front of Netflix not watching something?
Right.
And just
Scrolling.
deciding.
Scrolling.
Right. So we'll move on from The Killing that no one knows what the fuck it is. Arrested Development,
Yeah,
which is
that's one
something
I know.
that
There's a show.
we're all familiar with. It had 3 fantastic seasons on shit. What channel was it that it came on? Does anyone know? Not that it fucking matters. So it was on
Something.
and apparently, like, I didn't watch the show when it was on the air. I only caught it when they added it to Netflix, and Netflix was like, hey, we're going to do episodes of this, or we're going to pick it up, and while we make the episodes, we're going to put it on here so you can enjoy the first 3 seasons in anticipation. But apparently after the first season, during the second season, viewings started to decline. So they cut the second season a little short and did the same thing for the third season. I didn't really expect to read that because this show is a pretty intense fan following.
It launched the careers of like Jason Bateman and a whole bunch of
Sarah.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a shit ton of people. So I was kind of surprised to read that.
I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the show, mainly because I drank an entire bottle of Evan Williams whiskey one night while watching it and had to cling up to my bed to not fly off of the earth. And all I think of when I see that show is vomiting.
Well, that's a personal problem, sir.
It is.
So.
Definitely.
Is the show Nashville on your list? And I could be. I'm spitballing here.
God, man,
Was it picked up by Netflix?
I never.
I mean, I don't care about Nashville.
I never
either.
watched it, but I just I know
thought it was
how
Hulu.
I know how popular it was, and it ended.
Yeah.
It ended organically on network television. But there was this huge like bring it back and shit, and I want to say, and please audience correct me if you're watching the stream right now.
I want to say that I heard that they because of public backlash. They decided to bring it back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Netflix that stepped in. It wouldn't surprise me.
What they need to bring back,
Dukes of Hazzard
is what? Well, thank you. That's one, but they need to bring back the motherfucking Brady Bunch, okay? And I don't give a shit if the mom and dad are both dead at this point. All right, I want to know.
She was like older than them.
I want to know what the ending of the story about a man named Brady is. Okay, that's what I want to know. I'm still waiting.
You want to know the ending?
What's the end?
I know the ending.
What's the ending?
It's the same way all families end.
They did
Andrew.
a circle
The man
jerk
dies
around
10
grandma.
years before the woman, on average. They go bankrupt at least one time. The kids drop out of school. One of them ends up being a complete and total failure, while the one that's successful ends up inheriting most of the stuff because the parents only really cared about him or her. And basically the end of the story is, fuck you, families are bullshit.
Wow.
This is a story about a guy named Brady who was unsuccessful at the thing that everybody else generally does in mediocrity.
Oh my god!
Oh fuck.
Holy.
Okay. Back to Arrested Development.
That's not true. I love
The
my
other
family.
hold on, I gotta bring this up. We were corrected. So CMT bought Nashville, the show,
Okay.
and then
It's on
and
Hulu,
then
though.
one of our viewers said the Brady Bunch except with polygamists. It's the story of a man named Brady and Jeff and John and Philip and Steve and Melania and Carl and and Donald. Whoops. Anyway, what else you got there, Dave?
One last thing on Arrested Development. So they apparently a 5th season is still on the table. They haven't decided, I guess, if they're gonna do it or not. They
Michael
haven't
Cera is
started-
only going to be 12 for like 8 more years. So
You better get on it.
Yeah, that mustache is coming in thick.
Fucking shit.
Another one I have on here is Fuller House. I barely watched the show when it was on TV, when we were all, knee high to a grasshopper.
it's everywhere you look.
It's everywhere you look. It's everywhere you look. It's everywhere you look. It's everywhere you look.
Hail Satan the Dark One, the one who comes in the night.
Great show.
I'm pretty sure that's how it started out. Every episode
Bob
was like,
Saget is devil.
so people were like, "Hey, David, you gotta watch the Fuller House," and I was like,
No.
"Yeah." I couldn't really come up with
You did it
witty
in so
quips.
many nicer words than me.
Yes, I was like, "No, I don't think so. I think I'll do something more valuable with my time."
You guys know the real sequel to
No,
Full House
I'll
was
do
Very
something
Mary
good.
Kate on College Humor. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
They did a fucking thing where it was a Mary Kate and Ashley spoof. And
okay.
they made her. It was the funniest damn thing ever. They just made fun of all of her horrifying problems. It was really good.
The last one I have on the list, and I don't think this isn't a comprehensive list, I don't think, but these are the main ones that I could come up with. Last one is Gilmore Girls. Did you watch this show at all when it was on the air?
Nope.
Connor?
No.
That's-
No, but my foreign
Tell the
exchange
truth.
sister, Bea, who lived in our house for a year, she loved that show.
Did she?
She did. That's all I know about
So
it. Is
you
she watched it
digested it
from afar.
from afar.
Well, I was on my RP chats on the internet
Well-
back with dial-up.
Well, I didn't watch the show in its entirety. When I used to take care of my my younger brother Ben that has cerebral palsy. It's one of his favorite shows of all time. He has all the DVDs. He watches them like a million times. So I would watch it with him a lot, and that was all that I ever really watched of it. So when Netflix released I guess it was 4 episodes, and they were each like, I don't know, an hour and a half to 2 hours long or something like that. I wanted to watch it so I could like have something to talk with him about, or talk with him about it because I thought it'd be funny, and they were okay. I mean, Gilmore Girls fans like had a fucking field day with it, just like the girls in my office. Like I don't want to stereotype women at all, but they just like fucking flipped their shit. Like it was pretty intense. It was like some goddamn Backstreet Boys concert or something, but it was Gilmore Girls instead. They were like, oh my god! So it went a lot like that.
Now you know what it feels like when a Sammy Hagar CD comes out. And get higher and higher. Sorry.
R.I.P. eardrums.
What'd you call them?
R.I.P. eardrums?
Oh, I
It's a thing that we all have as humans.
What is this thing, eardrums, you speak of?
Human.
My name is Babadook Canterbury. Please cast me in human movies.
Babadook Canterbury.
I think I'll name my child Babadook Canterbury.
Oh my god.
So,
Babadook's Cumbersnoot.
Oh god.
all right, so we haven't done a top 5 list of anything or a list of anything at all so far. So why the fuck not start now?
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
want to talk about the ones that I like.
Let Connor go first.
I want to talk about them.
We're gonna do a top 5 list of our personal favorite Netflix series, and hopefully this won't backfire and become completely boring for our viewers / listeners.
It's not going to do that.
Cool. Good to know.
I'm letting you know that.
All right. Connor, you want to start us off?
I will. I was just sharing our thing again. All right. My top 5 favorite Netflix original series. Wet Hot American Summer First Day of Camp.
Wrong.
Fuck you! It's the best thing on Netflix that they've done.
Are we going from 5 to 1? Is that what we're doing?
No, I'm starting with my favorite and then down.
That's not how you count down.
Oh, that's how I'm doing it because I'm a rebel without a cause.
You know what? Suck a fat dick.
Okay, so Wet Hot American Summer First Day of Camp.
Wrong.
Okay, thank you. I think you all saw or maybe didn't see Wet Hot American Summer.
I know of it, and it flooded my Netflix dashboard for like 3 solid weeks.
It's
when
essentially
it came out.
like what happens when all these really, really funny sketch comedy people get together and like remake the movie Meatballs, but just fucking they're all adults, but they're kids, but they're adults.
Right.
Like
I heard good things. I mean, it looked funny.
awkward, hysterical. Janine Garofalo is in there. There's some funny stuff. There's some awkward kiss moments. There's a couple fart moments that are pretty good. The first day of camp is essentially the movie broken into a season. And they do all this stupid shit. And I mean, just watch it. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. It's just like what happens at summer camp, except they're all adults and they're all fucking stupid.
It's got great people in it,
It
though.
does. It has amazing, amazing cast.
Amy Poehler. Mm-hmm. God, I'm like
That's it.
blanket. It's Amy Poehler.
Bradley fucking Cooper's in it
That's
too.
right, yeah.
Yeah, like
Paul
there's-
Rudd, right?
Paul Rudd's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically what's the name of that group? Fuck, the
Backstreet
Renegade
Boys.
something or the Renegade Comedy something troupe. I don't know. I forget. They're a lot like Second City type of thing. It's a bunch of comedians that ended up on SNL that made this fucking thing.
Okay.
Anyway, number 2,
Cool.
7 Deadly Sins.
Okay.
which is an
Yeah,
anime series.
You recommended this to me, and unfortunately, I did not get to it because I'm trying to
So
broaden my anime horizons. Because both of you all know
It is.
I'm not like huge on
Andrew's
anime.
not huge on it either.
I mean, not because I dislike it, but because I just never really, honestly, I didn't grow up with it like you did.
I'm the resident weeb. Let's
yeah.
be real.
And so
just a
I was,
dirty weeb.
Yeah, I was looking for a series, and you suggested this one. Shit.
So that is
Go ahead.
that's a Netflix original, and it's an anime.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It is.
cool.
It takes place much like a Knights of the Round Table kind of scenario where the 7 deadly sins are these 7 warriors that were, protecting this kingdom. They were like the best warriors in the kingdom. And some shit happens, and the leader gets framed for the murder of the fucking king, and all this crazy shit goes down. And of course, they're all separated and banished and all
Kinda
this shit.
sounds cool.
It's really cool, and they all kind of slowly get back together, and they all have like a unique power of some sort. One of them is like she's a giant girl. She's just like fucking 2 stories tall. The main character, he's very much like a Lancelot type dude, but he's very, very fucking strong. And he just fights with a sword hilt. There's a guy that literally can't die. He's basically Deadpool, blow his head off, cut his limbs off. He just comes right back.
Nice.
There's more and more characters like that. Anyway,
So is that show a 1 season one-off like a lot of animes are, or
they're gonna continue with another season?
I'm gonna watch that. That sounds awesome.
Dude, it's super fucking cool.
I did check out. I think I told you this. I checked out Knights of Sidonia because one of our listeners suggested I check out that one, and I only made it a couple episodes in when I started watching something else for whatever reason. I didn't get bored. I just short attention span.
For sure.
Anyways,
Hey, Dave, look at this. Hey, Dave.
7 Deadly Sins, I think, is
look
like
at the kitty.
26 episodes, 14 or 26 episodes, something like that. It's,
really?
Mm-hmm. It's not very long. But they are talking about coming back for another season.
Very cool.
Number 3, The Characters. I don't know if you guys have watched any of that, but I am a fan of famed, not really famed, but kind of famed, comedian and podcaster Henry Zabrowski.
That motherfucker.
And he has an episode dedicated to him on the show, and honestly, it was the only reason why I started watching that show. Because it's all these like indie comedians that aren't like super big, that basically like if we gave you everything that you needed to make an episode of a show about you doing stupid shit, like here's the tools, make it. And they just got all these comedians and just had them fucking make episodes. And of course his is the most disgustingly offensive. I mean, he's dressed as an Arab fucking a squid in one scene. Like there's all kinds of crazy shit. Watch it. Especially the Henry Zabrowski episode, because it'll just make you question why you want to live anymore. Like, I mean, he fucks a squid. The squid offers blowjobs to everybody that walks in the room. It's really weird.
That's extremely friendly and a great quality.
It was. It's a fucking sex-driven squid. Anyway, there's a lot of crazy shit that goes on in that show. I would highly recommend it. Number 4, I think everybody can get on board here, is fucking Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Andrew has yet to watch it.
Yeah. We're
I'm so sorry, guys.
right now
Nostalgia.
we're going to take about 10 seconds to give Andrew a lot of shit for not watching it. Here we go. What the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
God damn it! You really shit the bed this time, you motherfucker!
Hey, Andrew.
All right, that's
I just want to. No. It's my turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah, man.
It's okay that you didn't watch Stranger Things.
Is it?
It's
Yeah,
okay to
just
be
watch
wrong.
it. Just watch it whenever. It's cool. But just to let you know, every time you fall asleep, day after day, after not watching Stranger Things, I'm going to come into your room, and I'm going to take a pair of bolt clippers, and I'm going to remove toe by toe. Toe by toe, Andrew.
Well, I am a fan of my toes.
Day by day, toe by toe.
So,
I thought you
So
were,
start
I
watching
thought you were
Stranger
gonna say
Things.
you were gonna summon the Demogorgon.
I mean, I'll fucking summon a Demogorgon. I don't give a shit.
he'll do that just cuz.
How would you even summon a Demogorgon?
Oh, it's
I
real
mean,
easy.
if you want me to
No.
get the D&D rules book out,
I might.
You roll a 9 and
I
you're
don't
good.
have one,
No,
so.
I'm just kidding.
What's number 5?
Number 5 is Marvel's Daredevil.
Excellent.
Which, for me, I liked Luke Cage. I liked Jessica Jones. I feel like the most solid series so far, villain and all, has been Daredevil.
Kingpin, though. I mean,
Sugar.
yeah, you know who that's who that is, right? The actor that plays Kingpin is the same guy from Men in Black that was Edgar.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was just excellent in there. One of the instances where the villain is definitely a stronger character than even the protagonist.
He's on equal footing for sure.
He was fucking intense. Very real to life kind of villain portrayal of Kingpin.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great all around. There was a lot of good action, a lot of decent drama. Yeah, I don't know, nothing bad to say about the show at all.
Do you have any honorable mentions? Any shows that you wanted to put on your top 5, but they didn't quite make the list?
Honestly, I had a hard time because I'm not really a huge Netflix watcher. I'm more of a Hulu man myself.
Sure, that's fine.
I tend to, if I'm on Netflix, I tend to watch like documentaries and shit about like birds.
Netflix
and fish.
is really good
like,
for both their original and non-original documentaries. It's their game is pretty on point.
I will say this about Connor. Some of the most fun I've ever had on Netflix is when he and I will hang out and he'll be like, dude, there's this shit horror movie that you've just got to watch. And there's been multiple hangout sessions where we have watched some bullshit.
976 Evil.
Exactly.
That's a
some
fucking example.
bullshit, like college project film level of quality found footage garbage on Netflix, and it's the best.
I just rip at a new asshole.
We become we just turn into like mystery science theater
Theater,
right there, and it's on Netflix. And what's funny is because of the way the rating system works on Netflix, like the 5 stars and shit like that is based on
Right.
shit that you like and things like that. So Connor, because he's just loaded down his queue with these
typically watch
garbage
things with,
ass
like, 1
movies,
star.
his shit. It's like. I can't even remember, like Trolls or something, whatever the fuck that troll movie, Troll
Troll 2?
Hunter,
Yeah,
Troll. Yeah, we'll have 5 stars because he's just an asshole. You know,
I mean, it's the same as my suggested watch list on Hulu. It's like, what Full Moon's picture have you not watched yet? Like, Ginger Dead Man Part 7, Dead and Ginger in it. Like, fucking okay. I have an issue. I mean, not really, because that's all me and my sister do when we get together is watch that bullshit. So,
Andrew, do you want to go next?
yeah, man. I'll pull up my little
Bard?
thing here. So, mine. I will read mine from 5 to 1, in the way that you wanted.
That's cool. I mean,
It's
Look,
really
Connor, I'm not mad.
I
I'm
set
just
the standard.
disappointed.
Dave,
I
I'm
set the
following
standard.
the rules that you set forth. Okay.
Look, I'm the person that gives the good news before the bad news. I'm just saying.
All right. Well,
This isn't a. All right, whatever.
I'm just gonna go ahead and can I just read mine now?
You
Because
can.
All right, cool.
Yeah, go for it.
Proceed.
Okay. So
Okay, yeah, now you can.
love you guys so much. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, number 5 for me is House of Cards, which is starring Kevin Spacey, who I think
That's on my want to
Damn
watch
you, Kevin
list.
Spacey!
if
you're
you
still
ever
on my
need
list.
someone just to play the biggest douchebag in the entire world, but also you love that douchebag,
He's
You're
a
right.
charming asshole.
you get Kevin Spacey. That show, it's like if Bill Clinton was even like you mix like Bill Clinton with like Doctor Doom, and you get the character that Kevin Spacey is on House of Cards. Like that show is amazing. It's like if The West Wing didn't have a nice president guy on it. It's just a phenomenal show. Orange is the New Black is on there for me as well.
Okay. Is that your number 4?
Yeah, and I put that up there, and this is a weird thing for me. I have actually watched that show the least of the shows I'm about to give you.
Okay.
So my familiarity with how it's going now is actually very limited, but I watched season 1 and was like, holy shit. The reason why I put it up there on mine is the quality that show is. Unbelievable dialogue. The subject matter of the female prison and everything like that is just unique and cool. I think just a very different setting for what a lot of shows are about nowadays, and the casting. Every single character. It's amazing how you got like besides the main character, of course, who was wrongly imprisoned and yada yada yada.
Right.
One of my favorite things was seeing. I'm gonna fuck her name up, but I just know her as the That 70s Show chick. That is our fucking the girlfriend from That 70s Show, the main chick. She's
The redhead.
yeah,
Eyebrows.
yeah. She plays this just completely different fucking character on that show, and it's awesome. So anyway, like that show just is well done, and so I just had to give it. I put it above House of Cards because of the difference in subject matter and kind of the uniqueness of that show versus
Gotcha.
everything else.
I
Because we've had political dramas before, and House of Cards kind of falls under that category. Orange is the New Black is truly unique to me. Therefore, I gave it a little on the.
I appreciate you going into explanation or detail about why you like that show, because
Fuck you, David.
no,
Thanks, Connor.
that wasn't
No, it's fine. I just like things because I like them.
all right. No, you should hear me when I give no
I give-
backstory to why I like the things that I like. No, when I ask people, because I mean, Orange is the New Black, like, it seems to be the Netflix original series, like the poster boy of Netflix original series. Like, it seems like everyone has seen this show. I haven't seen it. So when I ask people, I'm like, "What's so great about this show?" Not cynically, I'm like genuinely interested to know what's so good about it.
You really get
no one
yeah.
can really accurately explain to me why the show is so good. So what you just said has so far been the best explanation
It's
as
just
to
different.
why it's good.
It's just really different, and
did
I think
you watch Weeds at all?
No, but I'm okay. I've seen an episode or two, but
Okay.
anyway.
I don't know the creator's name. I think it's Genji Kohan or something.
Sure.
But she was the creator of Weeds, and she created Orange is
Oh,
the New
it's
Black.
real good. And then I'm gonna get into the meat and potatoes in my list here. Number
do it.
3 is Luke Cage. You're gonna see a common theme with my next few choices here, just because of the type of nerd that I am.
Sure.
But the fact that we started getting when Marvel started putting content on Netflix, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I didn't realize, I just didn't think about it, like, oh shit, Netflix has way less rules than other networks and movies, and so you get some intense ass shit on there.
There's the N word is like every
Oh
other word in
man,
this show.
they just say whatever they want, and I'm
They
like,
sure
this
do.
show is fucking awesome. And Luke Cage, the casting of Luke Cage, I liked the actor because I had seen there was a Halo series based on the video game Halo that he played, and he voices also in Halo 5 Guardians, Agent Locke, who becomes a Spartan and everything. Like, I already knew who that guy was, and so when I heard he was playing, he kicks a lot of ass in that show. When I heard he was going to be Luke Cage, I'm like, oh my god, perfect casting. And he made his first appearance in another Marvel series on Netflix, Jessica Jones, as the same character, Luke Cage. But he's just a badass, and it's really cool that they brought this character out, because once again, here's Disney doing their whole obscure Marvel shit. They're pulling characters out of that big old grab bag of stuff that aren't on the popularity level of Spider-Man or the X-Men or Iron Man. Now they are like, fuck it, Luke Cage, because there's a lot of meaty subject matter with him.
Oh, yeah.
Both on the racial issues it confronts and everything, and then at the core of it though, he just kicks a lot of fucking ass,
Right.
and that's entertaining as fuck. So huge props to Luke Cage. My number 2 is Jessica Jones. So you're again keeping with the Marvel theme. Jessica Jones was cool because I loved her character. She's a former active superhero, who she is mind controlled by Doctor Who. No, it's the same. It's David Tennant.
Right.
Basically, some bad shit happened, and she hides her superpowers, but she still wants to do good by running this PI agency. But then events happen, and she becomes a superhero again. But it's cool to see some fucking girl power, dude. She kicks ass in that show. She's relentless when she goes after these bad dudes, especially David Tennant's character. She doesn't give a shit about that guy. She goes after him pretty hard.
No,
Did you watch that show?
I've seen Luke Cage. I'm almost done. Jessica Jones, I have not made it that far yet. I haven't watched. Well, my wife watched it, and I kind of caught bits and pieces as I was walking in and out of the room, and it seemed like a really dark and intense show. Like there was one scene with her and David Tennant, and some shit was going down, and I was like, obviously I'm missing some context for what the fuck is happening right now. I think it might have been one of the last episodes of the first season.
Yeah.
So that's probably why shit was going down. But I have heard that one of the best parts of that show or at that season is David Tennant.
Yeah. Well, I love that man regardless. He's just a
Right.
fantastic actor, and he brings a lot of almost what Tom Hiddleston brought to Loki in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
loving to hate them?
That just like he's the bad guy and does some bad shit. You're like, God, I'm almost rooting for him because he's so awesome.
Right.
David Tennant's like that as well in Jessica Jones. And then number one for me is Daredevil. It is my favorite Netflix series so far, based upon the fact that I didn't expect it to work. It was the first of this dedication.
You were just expecting Ben Affleck all.
I mean,
over
to
again.
be honest, yes, because of my comic book knowledge, Daredevil fell into the category of shit I don't know a lot about. Okay.
fair.
And so my only exposure to Daredevil was Ben Affleck and that shit ass movie. And then like him in some video games and stuff, but like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, that game.
Spidey takes care of the top level. Daredevil takes
Takes
care of the bottom
yeah.
level. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and I just
Fantastic Four are up in their tower getting their shit rocked by Doctor Doom.
I just didn't really give a shit about Daredevil, and it was my brother-in-law that was like, dude, you gotta fucking watch Daredevil. And I'm like, okay, and started that show, and it was one of those situations we were kind of joking about before where, you know, blanket, lights off, you're just, no one talk to me, I'm daredeviling, you know, and several days go by, and you're like, I should shower.
Should
I should-
probably eat something.
I should go outside to find sustenance and nutrients because I was just like, and like what you touched on, Connor, with Kingpin, the villain in that show. That's half the damn reason why I kept up with the show, because I just wanted to see that dude do some more shit.
By far, 100%, more of a fan of villains than heroes.
Oh, me too.
I think they drive a subject
Oh, absolutely.
I have
much more than a
absolutely.
hero.
I have
does.
said this before in our Star Wars thing. Is Darth Vader is the coolest thing in Star Wars, in my opinion. It drives the entire thing. You have a villain that is just the shit. A good villain is, you got to have that thing that you love to hate, or even kind of love at the same time as you hate him, kind of thing. And so in Daredevil,
I don't hate Darth Vader. I think he was right.
I want him to win. Whereas, and then in Daredevil,
alliance must
in
be
Daredevil, it's that
crushed.
same thing. It's, God, Kingpin's fucking unhinged as shit. This dude is awesome, and it's hard
He is
to
a
argue
broken person.
once you see his motivations for why he's like that and why he uses his power and wealth to do kind of some of the crazy shit that he does. Once you see why, you're almost sympathetic to him. You're like, oh well, I can sort of see why you're messed up. You know,
Here's one thing that I know they can't do, but hopefully if Disney acquires X-Men, that we'll see, instead of like altered humans, definitely want to see the mutant thing come into play, because Kingpin is actually a mutant.
yeah, but at this point, unfortunately, Fox has had financial success with X-Men. They're not going to lose it. The thing is, and they're going to keep their stipulations in the contract with those character rights.
They can't say
they can't stop making content. If they stop after a certain amount of time, it defaults back to Marvel/Disney. Spider-Man, they got back because after Spider-Man 2, that Amazing Spider-Man series just didn't do what Sony thought it was going to do, and so they're like, fuck it, and they looked at it as more of a, if we partner with Disney, it'll just make more money, and that's what they're doing. That's why we get
There are
Tom
more
Holland's
Spider-Man movies than anything else. Jesus.
There is, but I personally prefer the casting of this new kid, Tom Holland.
yeah.
He's great.
I think he's awesome.
At any rate, so Daredevil, just the show's great. It's and the reason, the biggest reason why it's on my number one is because I look at it as sort of the granddaddy of the Netflix original series. I would put it in the same category as where like House of Cards kind of started the whole thing, because it was the first really big deal as far as wow, Netflix is a viable network to watch good content on as far as original series. And then Daredevil, I think, brought it fucking home because now there is another, I don't want to call it a cinematic universe because it's not in the movies, but all of these Marvel things, because now we're getting The Punisher, now we're getting Iron Fist, and then eventually in this year, because we're getting both series that I just mentioned, we're getting The Defenders, which is every single Marvel character I just mentioned. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Punisher, and Iron Fist form a team known as the Defenders, similar to the Avengers, but like on the ground level, on that badass level, and we get that fucking show. That's amazing, and none of that would have taken place, and none of the rest of these shows would have done shit had it not been for the success and care of Daredevil.
Right.
And just awesome. So that's why for me, it's just number one. I love that show a lot, and I spent so much time just no one talked to me. I kind of watched Daredevil.
Cool. All right.
David, what are your top 5 choices?
Connor?
It's blue, isn't it?
Did you say it's blue?
It's blue and green and purple.
Yes, that is correct.
All 5.
So my top 5. Number 5 slot goes to
Did you just say number 5?
Slut. That's what it sounded like. I'm sorry.
slut?
Number 5, slut.
What? Sorry, I totally misinterpreted.
No.
My number 5 slut is different countdown. I'm sorry.
No, I know that my voice is like naturally feminine and gay sounding. So, but no, I did not say number 5, comma slut.
It's not, what are you talking about?
So I'll
Thank
preface
you.
this. I actually don't have any Marvel on here, so it's going to be an interesting change of pace from what you guys just talked about.
I only said one Marvel thing.
Well, still, I don't have an anime on here either. So,
I'm going home, guys. Thank you.
all right, fuck off. So number 5 goes to the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Have you guys watched this show at all?
Nope.
Yes, it's very funny.
Yeah, it's I feel like it kind of took the place in my heart whenever I finally finished Parks and Rec. I know Amy Poehler has nothing to do with it, but it kind of has like same like endearing, witty, just lighthearted sense of humor that that Parks had.
Yeah.
I mean, it's produced by Tina Fey. So, you know, you get her brain magic in it.
Isn't the main character of that show the girl from
Derek
she
Comedy.
Job Girl?
From Derek Comedy.
Derek Comedy?
Yes, she is. That's her.
Oh, okay. I never really watched, except for that one.
It's
that-
Derek-
Derek
so
Comedy
much teeth.
is where that girl came from, and Donald Glover came from,
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I knew about Donald Glover, but
and Bobby Moynihan on SNL. Anyway, side
yeah.
note.
Well, I mean, I just know the actress from Kimmy Schmidt as she was on the later seasons of The Office. So that's where I know her from. But anyways, yeah, it makes my number 5 because I don't know, it's just really fun to watch. It's one of those like brainless, like you just turn it on and you kind of laugh, and you know you're kind of half watching it and half on Facebook, and you know you catch episodes and you're like, what?
Oh, I'm just looking at the camera.
Oh, okay.
Fourth wall.
But yeah, so it's a funny show, and it makes my number 5. Number 4 is The Get Down. Have you guys seen The Get Down?
Nope.
Nope.
Cool. This is an interesting and great conversation so far.
I just want you to tell us.
That's the point of the
The
top
Get
5.
Down, I think it was 6 or 7.
Is it a show about a
episodes.
guy that's trying to climb down a ladder, but he's struggling?
That is exactly
Just
what
24 episodes.
Is it one episode per rung?
it is. Yes.
Like
And-
today is the day I get number 13,
And each rung,
starring
it's,
Joaquin Phoenix.
Exactly.
I've got it down. I know what you're talking about, Dave. I did research. I'm here for you, bro.
You're down with the Get Down?
I'm down like the get down, getting down the ladder.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm a climb the ladder kind of guy. I like to get up.
Anyway,
is there a
he's-
show called Get Up?
And anyway, he's gonna talk about the Get Down because I don't know what it is, Andrew.
I just explained it to you.
No, you didn't.
So, The Get Down is a fictional story that kind of takes place in a non-fictional time period of I believe it's the 70s, and it takes place funny enough, it takes place in Harlem, which is where Luke Cage takes place.
Yeah.
But it kind of takes place in the Harlem Bronx area, where
That's where my dad grew up.
yeah, where there was, of course, it was primarily inhabited by black people and Puerto Ricans and people of color, and it was all about. The show is kind of about like where hip hop meets disco, and how they kind of mesh together.
Hipsco.
Yes, that's exactly right. Grandmaster Flash makes an appearance for a short period of time in it. I don't know. It's really hard to explain what the show is. It actually they just posted something on Facebook saying that they're renewing it for a second season, which is awesome. But if you're really into like hip hop music, like the early days of hip hop, if you're into dancing, if you're into like a Motown, if you're into shit like that, then you'll get a fucking kick out of this movie. Like especially like the early days of DJing. It's a fucking awesome show, and you should just check it out because it's amazing. So number 3 is Master of None. If you're not familiar with Master of None, it's Aziz Ansari's show.
I saw a picture of it, and
It's
that's all I did.
I've seen a little bit of it. It's kind of like how Louis C.K. did his Louis thing. It's very similar to that.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of similar. They actually just got
Except that Louis C.K. is funny. Sorry. Anyway, continue.
fucking dickhead. No, I'm just playing. You can believe whatever you want to believe, even if it's false.
He's pretty funny.
Whatever fuck you. You don't have to like him.
He's the worst part of Parks and Rec, but it's fine.
Maybe in the first couple of seasons.
God, he's rough.
He's pretty unbearable. In the
Aziz
first couple.
Ansari is a living version of that little fucking like toy from Only in Halloween that's like a pumpkin, and when you push the little tiny button, it goes. And it's that, but a person that can talk and drive cars and poop and things. Like, that's what Aziz Ansari is to me. It's just that fucking sound. And I'm sorry.
Where did
cool.
that analogy come from?
It came from because
I know exactly what you're talking
that's
about.
what it is. It's on little pins. It's like all your Halloween decorations that make sounds during the 90s make that fucking sound.
Yes, they do.
And one of them they put inside of a cadaver, and it woke the fuck back up, and that's Aziz Ansari.
Jesus.
Damn, that's his number 2, bro. That was rough.
What are you talking
That
about?
was number 3.
You guys
number
gave
3.
me shit for not watching Stranger Things, so fuck you and your Aziz Ansari.
This
cool.
is the friendliest podcast ever.
That's all right. Well,
Anyway, please continue.
now I don't even want to fucking
Tell me about the fucking show with the bullshit comedian.
damn it.
He's not that bad.
Right, he's not.
No, it's not really. Damn it! Now I totally lost my fucking concentration.
It's fine, man.
No, it's a very interesting and funny look at where we are with relationships today, and it has a lot to do. It talks a lot about commitments and relationships, and just what it's like to be in love right now. Like the very first episode, it starts out and he's fucking some random chick, and the condom breaks, so they have to stop having sex and they have to take an Uber to the drugstore and get the Plan B pill.
Oh, God.
And they're like paying for it, and he's like, "Oh shit, we gotta have this apple juice," and he just like randomly grabs like this apple juice. He's like, "Have you ever had this apple juice before?" She's like, "No," and it's just funny because they're buying the Plan B pill. And he's like, "You gotta have this apple juice," but I know that was like weird and out of context.
No, it's not. I'm just trying to imagine an actual comedian in that role to make it funny.
Anyways, moving on to number 2.
Dugging hard on Aziz right now.
So if you're interested, go check it out. If you're not interested, fuck off. Number 2, I know I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. It's Black Mirror.
Yeah, that show's pretty good. And that show was actually, wasn't it picked up by Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
It's a continuation. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a BBC thing or something.
Something that I meant to mention before we got started with our top 5s is the criteria for our top 5s could have been Netflix original series from the get-go or picked up along the way and became Netflix original series. But you guys knew that criteria going in. The listeners, sorry, I forgot to mention that. But that is our criteria for how we picked our
David,
shows.
the listeners don't matter. So
The listeners are the only thing that matter. The listeners come before you guys.
Oh.
And then me.
Oh.
No. So if you're not familiar with Black Mirror, it is basically what if technology was really, really bad? Like it deals with the
Social construct of technology.
right. The overall synopsis, the overall theme for all the episodes is the consequence of technology. Like, you know, we think about technology growing as we go on, as we learn more about, you know, AI and virtual reality and what we can do with all this cool shit that we're coming up with. We can learn, you know, how far we can push it. And, you know, of course, we think about all the great things that we can do with it. This show flips that on its head and talks about all the bad shit that could happen. It's not a show that you power watch because after every episode,
It's draining.
You have to just take a beat and be like, what the fuck did I just experience? It's pretty crazy. So yeah, Black Mirror is my number 2. I think it's an awesome show. Not because I like gloomy shit. There are a few, you know, like happy ending episodes, but for the most part, it's, you know, kind of down.
It's a dark show, yeah, for sure.
But
The show is called fucking Black Mirror.
Yeah, but I like it because you know, it brings up a conversation that a lot of us don't want to have. It kind of reminds me of the meme of the Jurassic Park. Well, it's not really a meme, it's just the quote that Jeff Goldblum says that, you know, you didn't, when you asked yourself, can we do this? You didn't stop to think, you know, should we do this? I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I know. It's not verbatim what he says, but that's kind of the idea. It's, you know, that's also kind of the idea of a lot of the episodes in Black Mirror is like, you know, yeah, you have the ability to create this technology, but should you? Because, you know, this is the road you're going down if you choose to proceed with it. So, and then of course, number 1 is Stranger Things.
There you go.
Yep. Fucking.
If you don't know what Stranger Things is, fuck you, go watch it.
I don't see the appeal. I'm so kidding, you guys. I will watch that show. I will not do that.
Can we all just, everybody do us a favor and find Andrew on Facebook. And if we could just send him pictures of E.T., just post them to his wall.
Just
as many pictures, preferably the most horrifying. I won't ever post on Facebook the thing I sent him in Facebook Messenger.
You son of a bitch. That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
It was essentially E.T. the porno.
Yep. Yep.
Just to fuck him up for that day. So just don't post that to his wall. But I mean, just throw some E.T. pictures up there. And we'll only stop once he watches Stranger Things. So
I'm going to watch Stranger Things. And
Good.
No, it's I mean, we've all heard, you know, the reason why Stranger Things has been a cultural phenomenon. It's been why it's been so popular. It's basically a show that was it feels like it was co-written by Stephen King and Steven Spielberg. It definitely has a lot of the appeal is that it kind of hits you in the feels, especially for the people that grew up in the 80s or were born in the 80s, whatever, that loved movies like E.T., loved movies like Close Encounters. You know,
It's the fucking Goonies, man.
yeah, like adventure.
It's the new Goonie squad.
Yeah,
Big time.
And
You know, I don't see why you would love E.T. And here's why. All he is he's
Some
a no good
people-
intergalactic fucking homeless person who just lives in their house, doesn't pay rent, bitches and moans about how great his home planet is, that he's got a phone home and he can't even fucking use a phone.
You know?
And he's weird and he's got a long neck. And let's not forget that he's naked the whole time and he's a cross-dresser.
Hey,
Okay?
don't-
So I'm just saying, like, I'm not afraid of E.T. as much as I am, you know, just completely repulsed by his behavior. And that's the real fear.
don't
that-
forget
that I have.
not all kids were pussies growing up.
Look here,
and,
fuckstick.
Had nightmares about ET. Not everyone went through that. So you eat shit with that. Okay.
Look, he sucks. All right. That's all I'm getting at.
Okay. Well, we'll end it right there. Not the podcast. A couple of you guys didn't really have any honorable mentions. I had a couple. BoJack Horseman made my honorable mentions. It's just a funny fucking show.
See a few episodes. It's humorous.
I mean, there's half the people in the show are humans, half the people are animals, and the jokes they make about some of the characters being animals are fucking hilarious. It's just like funny, dry. If you're into dry comedy, you'll get a kick out of it. The Ranch, it's kind of like a TBS show.
It's got Ashton Kitchens.
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kitchens. No, it's got him and Danny Masterson and Sam.
Danny Masterson.
Fucking-
Can I get anybody a refreshing brew?
There's no more beer.
What the fuck?
I told you there were 3 left.
Well, I'm going to get the bottle of gin over here then.
Cool.
That's why I got the Gatorade out.
And then I put down Making
me
a
a cup
Murderer. We
and
haven't
some
really
gin.
discussed Making a Murderer. I know it's like,
Oh, we should though.
I mean, it's only been one season, and it premiered like over a year ago.
I've got a clue for you. He did it.
He didn't fucking do it. He didn't do it.
No, he killed that broad. It's done.
So I also put listed a couple series that I'd like to check out. F is for Family. It's I haven't really heard about this show until recently.
I got the gin, guys. Everything's fine.
Bill Burr is responsible for this show. You guys know Bill Burr.
Yeah, he's my favorite ginger comic.
Whoa.
Fuck you, Louis C.K. should be your favorite ginger comic.
I'm sorry, he's my favorite ginger comic, and then Bill Burr is my second favorite ginger comic.
Goddamn right.
I think they're the only 2 ginger comics that are existing.
House of
Top.
Cards is on
What
here.
about Carrot Top?
Carrot Top. House of Cards. I haven't watched a single episode, and I'd like to check it out one day. Luke Cage, I actually put on here, but when I made this list like last week, I hadn't gotten to it yet. But since then, I have gotten to it. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I'm like almost done with it, so I'm really enjoying it so far. Jessica Jones and Daredevil are also on here. I know I'm terrible for not checking either of those out. So
Guys, can we just be honest? It's Netflix, so you can watch it anytime.
Yeah, whenever the fuck you want to.
that's the appeal. Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta stop the presses for a second. One of the comments here, this is fantastic, about making a murder, okay? Or murderer, sorry. She goes, "Oh, making a murderer. That kid just wanted to go to WrestleMania."
Brendan Dassey definitely looks like he should have been at WrestleMania.
What's that fucking supposed to mean, David? I watched the shit out of wrestling, all right? It's fine.
Well, I mean, there's all different kinds of people that like wrestling.
Well, yeah, good ones. Real good looking, successful people watch wrestling. Fucker.
One of the memes.
I swear to
that-
God, I'm watching wrestling.
One of the memes that I laughed the hardest about when this show kind of blew up last year was someone said, I'm very excited to see the Making a Murderer movie when Paul Dano inevitably plays Brendan Dassey.
Oh wait, I had to throw it in there.
What is it?
No. Oh wait.
Yeah.
When I think of making a murderer, I think of a guy from Silence of the Lambs.
Have you tried murdering her with lotion?
Have you tried taking her in your murder house? You don't get to kill her. You just get to stalk her.
Okay, here's the thing. Wasn't he like almost convicted of a murder before that?
No,
too?
he was wrongly accused of a crime. Spent
And he went to
16
jail.
years in fucking jail. Got out because of DNA evidence. Was like, oh, he didn't fucking do it. And then almost immediately after he was released, they were like, oh, he fucking killed someone. And then the show. that's
Yeah.
what you're looking at.
So he did it.
I mean, probably.
Here's the thing. I don't fucking care.
That show, though, I understand there was an article that I was reading. They were like, why the fuck do people like this show so much? Why has it been such a phenomenon? It's because the subject matter is juicy as shit. You know, it's the same reason why in the 90s we were watching O.J. Simpson trial on the fucking TV. Like, it was just like, oh my God.
See, I like watching programs about folks who actually did legitimately kill people, and we know, like Ted Danson, right?
Ted Danson, the actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, sorry, no, I meant Ted Bundy. I get them mixed up all the time.
It's easy to
all
do
the
that.
time.
It's
God.
real easy to do that.
Like John Wayne Gacy and John Wayne.
John Wayne and Clint Eastwood.
Clint
Get off my lawn.
There is one last thing I'd like to bring up.
I had a thing. So,
If we're going round robin
you
style,
know, say your fucking thing, and then I'll say mine.
I mean, Connor, if I was interrupting you, I don't want to like mess
No,
up.
I was just interrupting you.
someone please just fucking go.
Okay, so upcoming shows that I want to fucking see that Netflix is doing.
Fine, that's a good topic.
It's Cyborg 009, The Call of Justice. That's the anime. If you like that, it'll be good. The live-action Death Note with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 is coming back
Now, is it
onto Netflix.
them guys?
It's but it's Joel Hodgson instead of Mike Nelson. So
Okay, because they're continuing to do riff tracks, I assume, and not this.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's different people playing Crow and Tom Servo.
Hey, you just got a comment on your Ted Danson thing. Where everybody knows your name, except when they confuse you for a murderer.
Marvel's Iron Fist, which we talked about.
He killed a dragon with his hands.
This one's
Why does the fucking dude have a goddamn Jufro? Because
he does.
he does.
Does he seriously look like that in the comics?
No,
No, he's got a ninja outfit on, but fuck it.
he has like shoulder length blonde hair.
And
Anyway, one that I'm really excited about, just to see how audiences and the manufacturing toy industry handles this. Stretch Armstrong and the Flex Fighters.
Yes.
Stretch Armstrong is coming back, guys.
That was like
and
my
we're gonna have
favorite
corn syrup and sand coming out of those toys, and lots of kids are gonna choke
That
and
was
die
like
again.
my favorite fucking
I thought
toy when-
I want one.
I never owned one, but
didn't either.
one of my friends did, and I broke it.
Yeah, everybody
at their
fucking broke
house.
them.
Yeah,
and I thought
they only lasted like 2 days because everyone and their fucking mother was. No mothers were fucked in the process of these toys being pulled.
I mean, you don't know.
I mean, it is called Stretch Armstrong.
Someone
got
his
curious.
Enemy's name was like Vacuum Man, and he just like sucked air out of things. Like that was his thing. It was like, so he's basically just like, he's like blowjob man, kind of like.
but no, they didn't last very long because
That's what a
you
blowjob
and-
is, right?
you
When
and
they
your-
suck the air out of your penis.
You and your friend are like, okay, you go to that one end of the hallway, and I'll
Right.
go over here, and let's just see what happens.
yeah,
And then you let go and kill your brother with it.
One snaps, and then the hard plastic head shoots into Billy's eye.
And you hear, "Shh, psh,
Don't tell mom! Don't tell mom!
Shut the fuck up,
Don't
Billy.
tell mom!
Connor, was that the end of your list?
No, the last one I had for you there was Castlevania.
Oh,
yeah.
Now,
Castle
here's the thing.
fucking
Here's the thing.
Vania.
I don't know if you guys know, but it's not a live action thing.
That's
So
It's an animation.
cool.
And it's not going to be anime. It's going to be American style animation.
fine. All right.
Okay.
So I'm very, very curious to see how that's represented, because if you know Castlevania, all of the caricatures in that fucking game series are represented through a very, very Japanese anime style. I mean, just look at the artwork from Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and that gives you the whole picture of what you need to know. It'll be very interesting to see how it's represented. That it said it's going to be like Game of Thrones rated R. So,
Cool.
yeah, I want to see that Belmont clan like fuck up some people. So,
That okay. So I'm glad you said what you just said about Castlevania, because that actually transitions
also,
into
by the way, on the website they misspelled Belmont. They said
Oh, did they?
Beaumont.
Oh, no. Fix it immediately.
Fix it.
Do it.
Ah, the children of the night.
Children of the night.
What sweet music they make.
Yeah. Castlevania. Yeah, the only way they make that better is like, fuck it, Dracula's Gary Oldman. Don't care. Just, he's Dracula forever. So, so you brought up Castlevania, which, of course, for those that know, that's one of the best video games ever. Netflix, David, you brought up a point earlier about how we consume media and how Netflix has changed that. That type of thing, can you take Netflix, and someone's already doing this, can you consume other forms of entertainment in the same way that Netflix provides? And the answer is yes. It started with GameFly doing the rental service where you would just basically sign up for a subscription and they mail you video games like they used to mail the DVDs for Netflix. But that has changed now, where Sony on the PlayStation 4
PlayStation Now
has offered a service called PlayStation Now. So you're like, I want to play a game that I don't have right now.
It's like game renting.
And what they've done is they've created a marketplace where PlayStation 3 games, older stuff that maybe you never got to play, and maybe some of these games you'll beat in like 2 days, and like, why the fuck would you buy it? Like some games that are like single player experiences that you just beat and you're done, and they're fun and it's over with, and there's no reason to really.
Right.
So instead of like going to GameStop, buying it, trading it in, blah blah blah, PlayStation Now provides you the ability to basically rent a game instantaneously right then and there. You can pay a subscription to it and just fucking play games.
I think great examples of those would be like the Infamous series or the Prototype
Infamous,
series.
Assassin's Creed 2, you know, things like that. And it's like,
Which, by the way, I got Star Wars Force Unleashed.
did you really?
I did, so we can play.
Oh
we can play that.
shit! I just
Yeah.
want that's real good game. I just want to play the first level on repeat. Yeah, just Darth Vader versus Wookiees.
Fucking up Wookiees.
That's all I want to do. Anyway, no. So Netflix created, for all intents and purposes, like, hey, you can fucking stream shit and it works. And being able to stream a video game to the PlayStation and play it and beat it.
It's like those Nintendo 64 controllers that were in all the Hilton suites plugged up to the TV, but the joystick didn't work, and it was just
Oh
the
my
D-pad.
God, you're so right.
But you could play Tetris for like $18 for like 35 minutes.
I have a funny story about that shit.
Go for it.
One, it wasn't a video game. It was back when, I don't know if hotels still do like you get to watch movies. You have to pay out the ass for them, but they're movies that are kind of in the transition of being.
Are there other movies besides porn in hotels?
I was about to say, is it porn?
No,
Are we talking about
Damn.
porn?
but they're out of the theaters, but not quite in on DVD yet.
Oh, okay.
But it was Jumanji out of all movies. And we were on I don't know if it's family vacation or what, but we were staying in a hotel, and my dad was in the bathroom. My mom was elsewhere, and I thought that we had it rented for some reason for like 24 hours or something like that, and I wanted to watch it again while we were all getting ready. So I click on it, and maybe this story isn't even fucking funny. Anyway,
No, I
bought-
see
did
where
you
this is.
fucking
Did
buy
you like
that
buy
shit
it like
again?
80 times?
I did. I bought it 3 times, and it totaled to like almost $40. And I remember
Back in the
like
90s, that was some change.
yeah, we were checking out, and I was like kind of playing, and in the back of my mind, I was like, "There's no way I accidentally bought Jumanji like 3 more times.
This guy just
Is
loves
there?
the shit out of Jumanji, man.
And I see my dad over there, and he's like looking over, the paperwork or whatever where everything's itemized, and he's like talking to the person. I'm like, fuck! I totally rented Jumanji like 13 times.
Oh god.
And so I kind of wander over to where my mom and my brothers are. And,
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
and my dad comes over and he's like, so they're telling me that we rented Jumanji like 4 times, and we just watched it that one time last night, right? And I was like, we sure did. No, I mean, I'm a terrible liar, so I was like, well, I thought I was just clicking on the thing so I could watch it again. And he was like, I'm gonna fucking end you.
Here's the thing. This is how you rectify that situation. You go up and be like, there must be a glitch in your system, because why would I watch Jumanji 4 times? I watched it one time with my family, and then we proceeded to play Sorry, the board game, as families do, because we're a family. And why would we watch Jumanji 4 times?
And if you don't understand that, can I speak to your manager, please?
I'd like to speak to your manager and about how your system likes to charge me extra money
Sir.
because you think I love Jumanji so much to watch it 4 times, specifically.
Hi, I'm Glenn, the manager. What seems to be the
I
problem?
watched Jumanji. I didn't watch Jumanji 4 times.
Well, no one's going to watch Jumanji more
Exactly.
than once.
So take these charges off of my bill,
Yeah.
and also all of that pornography. Why would I watch Cum Dump Slups 14 times? No one watches that. That is just right, honey. It's abhorrent. It's abhorrent, sir.
And
that
especially
you would
not
think
the
there's-
Finger Club.
Someone must have rolled over on that remote control, and I'm telling you, they watched it a lot.
My son, he sleep screams.
He sleeps.
And sometimes it causes him to... He rolls around. It's like a fucking alligator doing a death roll in that bed. Okay, he's got mattress pad and blanket and all, and the goddamn TV remote is just repeatedly hitting
You think
cum
I'm
dumb
gonna try?
slumps.
You think I'm gonna try and reach over there and grab that remote during his sleep screams and his death rolls?
You want me to lose an arm?
You're lucky the sheets came out of this okay.
Anyway, we had a lovely time here at the Hilton, and we'll be back.
Can I just say, when I was a kid, just because it's a fond memory, when I was a kid, we used to stay at Embassy Suites as a little family weekend getaway. Sometimes just because they fucking give you cookies and milk at night, and there's a swimming pool, and we were poor as fuck. Like $50 for a room at an Embassy Suites during some kind of promotional deal was like vacation.
You would just
we would go.
stay at the
I
Embassy Suites
for
here
like
in
2
town?
days. Yes, yeah, man,
That's awesome.
dude, poor as fuck. So
No, bro, I'm right there with you.
right, so
We didn't have shit.
it was a special fucking treat when we'd go there, and me and my sister would get the fucking classic ass Game Boy that they would have it, and we were like, we're the only ones who fucking know about it because it's always there. And they would have one behind the counter and would be like, can we have the Game Boy and the Kirby's Pinball? And we would just get a Game Boy and Kirby's Pinball.
That's awesome.
And we would go down and like ask them for more double A's when we killed the fucking battery inevitably on that huge fucking thing. Yeah, that was a fond memory. Yeah, Embassy Suites.
Netflix.
Dude, fucking we've Netflixed.
I think we've Netflixed and chilled. Pretty hardcore.
we have done both and the same time. Actually, we're gonna get off here and then we're going to do the Netflix and chill
Oh god.
right after our group shower.
Hope you got your mouths ready.
I heard it.
It's
did that this week.
It's thigh sweating time.
So, guys, guess what? I wrote down some things so I don't miss anything in our closing remarks.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yes,
Thank you.
I am.
You think people watch this? There's actually a lot of chat going on. Right
Yeah,
now.
we've been chatting the shit out. Can we just say, like, guys, thank you so. I'm gonna stop talking like that. Guys, thank you so much for all of the fucking comments and activity this
Yeah.
stream has gotten. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
It's
you
been
so
fun.
very much.
Very, very fun. And continue to do that, even if you're giving us shit, which you did for most of it.
So yeah,
Go ahead, Dave.
If you guys enjoyed listening to the three of us be idiots for a few hours every couple of weeks or however long it takes us to put out a new episode, Please leave us a rating and review on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. We are on those three.
Official.
Yes.
Official AF.
It is
Official.
official.
If you have, if there's another podcasting platform, like I've said before, if there's another one that's out there that we don't know about that you like to listen to podcasts with, please let us know, and we will upload the shit out of that podcast platform. But yeah, please leave us a rating and review, because that would really help our little podcast out in getting recognized and beefed up in the iTunes store, and then we'll show up more under recommended podcasts and shit, which would be awesome.
Yeah, boss.
We plan on blowing this completely out of the goddamn water.
And don't forget to tell your friends about the show. We don't really have the money for advertising right now. Facebook advertising is actually kind of expensive. So please, if you like the show, tell your friends about it. Tell your family members about it. And just help us spread the word about our podcast. Only if you like it, though.
One thing I want to make sure I mention, y'all, is that the recorded versions of this show, which are uploaded to our website, which is
geekgaragepodcast.com.
Awesome. And then, of course, on iTunes and all the good things that David just mentioned. Part of the fun of being a part of this live stream on Facebook is seeing us this is uncut, live, raw, dumb shit.
Right.
You get to see part of the setup and us being morons, but we completely rely on you all to make sure that we don't sound completely awful. and the comments and the interaction with you all is part of what makes our experience with this fun. And it's extremely touching that there's even remotely any kind of attention given to this. So I'm sitting here with my phone here, keeping up with you all, and
I can't wait to go home and read.
This
all
is
the
so
comments.
much fun, and please keep the banter going. Rip on us.
Yeah.
There's been some burns on here that have been pretty solid, and we all suck. And I love
but mostly Andrew. mostly Andrew. He's a failure. Anyway.
But anyway, thank you all for that portion of what's taken place tonight. Please continue.
Like we just stated, we when we did our last podcast, the one on the Nintendo Switch, we didn't have a website up. Guess what? We have a website. We got a fucking website up now. Holy shit. So like I said, it is geekgaragepodcast.com.
It's pretty cool. David made it.
It's real good. David made the fuck out of that website.
He did, because he's good at that. He does those things.
I do.
If you said, "Hey Andrew, make a website," I'd be like, "You want some corn dogs?"
If you said Connor make a website, I'd pull a gummy bear in my pocket and say it's real warm.
Anyways, if you go to the website, you can find all kinds of cool shit. You can actually listen to all the episodes of our podcast on there if you want. You can check out other cool content. Like we do blog posts every once in a while. I'm kind of updating you on some other stuff, and we'll get into as the weeks go on. We'll do more blogging, especially about stuff like we can only get together so often for our podcast episodes. So there of course will be more content that we want to talk about. Like games and movies and shit that we don't have time for on the show. So, be on the lookout for, blog posts. Also, the download links are on there for iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. If you're having trouble finding us on those platforms, you can go to our website and find the links there. You can also find all the social media links on our website. If you don't want to go to our website to find those, we are at facebook.com/geekgaragepodcast. We are on Twitter at geekgaragepod, POD.
Just go ahead and follow that shit right now. Give us a
Do
like
it.
on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
What are you, some kind of nerd?
We're also on Instagram. Every once in a while, every time we get together for an episode, we try and post a funny picture. We haven't done one tonight.
Well,
so
we will.
We need to do that.
We will.
So we did that. And eventually, here soon, we will have. Of course, you can see you can rewatch the live streams on Facebook, but we're also going to upload them to the 2Player Media YouTube channel. We're going to have an awesome playlist of all our episodes, or at least the ones that we stream. So we're going to have them up on there. That, of course, is youtube.com/2playermedia.
Also be looking out for some things on that channel.
Yes, we have more delicious content.
Um,
If you would like to address us about anything and would rather it be a little bit more personal, have a personal touch, you can get in touch with us via email because we also do that kind of thing.
Message us, bitches.
Yep. It's geekgaragepodcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up that way and you can, I don't know, whatever that...
Homies, get on that message board up at Geek Garage Podcast on Facebook and start a discussion.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about what your favorite Netflix original is? Or maybe talk about why Andrew hates E.T. Why don't you start that going and just start posting. Just post some E.T. pictures. I'll start it. I'll start it right fucking now. Let's find an E.T. picture. Anyway, start a discussion on that page there and get it rolling, guys. Come on. Give us some ideas for the next episode.
Yeah. And we... that's of course that's how we came up with the idea for this episode. Is I just threw it out there. I said this in the beginning of the episode. I was like, hey guys, what do you think would make a good episode for our podcast? And someone mentioned Netflix originals. So if you have an idea of what might make a good episode, please let us know, and maybe we'll consider it. Maybe we'll, tell you to fuck off. I'm just kidding.
I will if you post ET shit, though.
No, just
some shit.
find Andrew on Facebook and just flood his Facebook page with ET pictures. Do me.
Just put it on the Geek Garage Podcast page. Start a thread. I'm gonna post the first picture. Y'all just go in the comment section and just start tagging Andrew with ET pictures. We're going for it. So
all right, guys. Well, it's been fucking fun as hell tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone that has watched our live stream on Facebook, thank you so much. Everyone that has downloaded this episode, thank you so much. We will catch you next time. I am David.
I am Andrew.
And I'm Bacon. I'm Connor. Sorry.
Cool.
I got
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you all very much.